Just wanted to share a couple of little things with you guys today because I've been just reading through this book, and for those of you that see me a little bit more, I may have talked to you already about it, but really, really good book, guys. 100% recommend it. And he's just basically talking about a couple of little concepts about changing habit. It's all about how to understand yourself a bit better, how to understand why you do things and why your habits dictate your life, and how to change them, basically. So you're in control, you're the architect rather than the victim of your life, as he likes to put it, which is quite poignant because I think about it a lot, and I train a lot of people or I've trained a lot of people in the past that say want something, they want to change, but then they can't quite do it. And there's that bit in between, there's that goal setting and where you are. And then there's a load of stuff in between. And in the book, they could talk about kind of different ways that you can kind of achieve that. He even talks a little bit about kind of motivation, how most people struggle with motivation, how most people hope to get up in the morning and feel motivated to do something, which obviously for a lot of us isn't the case. What he then goes on to talk about is how to change those habits and how to create that new habit even without that motivation. So here's a really cool thing for you guys. If you want to share it, feel free to send it to me or share it in the group. What I'd like you to do is think about a time where you set yourself a goal. It could be exercise related, could be to do with business, could be money. And you said, I'm going to achieve this goal by a certain time. And then if you didn't achieve it, think, why didn't you achieve it? It's a really good practice because then you can look at the things that actually are stopping you, the barriers or the things that you didn't do that stopped you achieving that goal. For instance, a lot of people with weight loss, they find it difficult to maintain a certain calorie deficit. For people that I've trained in the past, they find it difficult to maintain certain levels of activity. A lot of people struggle with self-discipline. So those are kind of broader things, but what did you struggle with and why didn't you reach that goal? Even if it was to lift 100 kilo on a squat or 50 kilo on a bench press, whatever it may be, why didn't you achieve that? And once you start looking retrospectively at why you didn't achieve it, you can really help to improve and to attack those weaknesses, why you didn't achieve it in the future. So what you can do is obviously look at that and you can say, why did I achieve something or why didn't I achieve something? Or imagine that you did achieve your goal and then say, why did I achieve it? There's an old saying that goes, winners and losers both have goals, dreams and ambitions. But the difference between the winners is that they have structure to get there. The winners focus on the structure and the everyday processes of achieving that bigger goal, working on smaller daily improvements rather than just the big goal altogether. Obviously, for things like weight loss, it's maybe focusing on the structure of food, how you plan your day, exercise, and sticking to those. For others that are exercising, it could be making sure that you do 15 minutes of exercise a day, which obviously adds up to about 1 hour 45 a week, which is much better than nothing. And for a lot of us, if we were to do 1 hour 45 minutes of exercise a week, we would still be in pretty good shape. But 15 minutes a day has that daily consistent effort, which is reinforcing that habit. So if you've thought about something now where you set yourself a goal and you didn't achieve it, so maybe it was 6 months, 5 months, or 6 weeks, I'm going to do this, 60 days, obviously lean 60. Why didn't you achieve it? But obviously the unfortunate thing about looking back is that you can't change those results. So what you can do now is if you have a goal for in 6 weeks, 8 weeks, or maybe even 10 weeks, put yourself to that 10-week period. Say, imagine yourself in 10 weeks. Think about you not achieving that goal. Say you set yourself a goal for in 10 weeks' time, you're going to be able to do a pull-up. What are the things that are going to stop you achieving that goal? Be broad and be creative. Come up with all the possibilities of why you might not achieve that goal. And then that might start to help you think about the things that you need to change in the future to actually achieve that goal. For instance, I know 1 or 2 of you might struggle with this one, but if flexibility is the thing holding you back, then maybe focusing on flexibility might be a good thing to focus on for the next couple of weeks. So if flexibility is the thing holding you back doing certain movements or getting certain depth in movements, then maybe focus on flexibility. If you can imagine yourself in 10 weeks saying, I would like to be here, but actually the thing holding you back is flexibility, then that's great. We can already change that and start to think about our future self. Another one might be volume of exercise or the frequency, the amount that you're training in the day or the frequency of training. Are you training every day or just once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week? The frequency is just as important. The more you can do something, the more you're going to hammer home that habit and that daily consistent action, the more you're going to reinforce that feedback loop. So in the book, one of the ways that he talks about changing a habit is doing this 4-step program. So the 4-step program of changing your habits starts off with noticing your problem, noticing that you're not doing what you want to achieve, noticing that you're not aligning your actions with your goals. So for instance, if you want to lose weight, but you're eating high calorie foods all the time, or going over, say just on the weekends on your calories, or going over most days on the wrong types of foods that aren't going to be beneficial for your energy or muscle gain, all of those things, you have to be able to notice them first to then be able to change them. The next one is wanting to change. If you've got a habit and you actually like it, or you're not really too bothered about it, then there's no reason to change. Or maybe there's a reason to change, but you have to want to change. It's like a lot of people wanting to lose weight or look a certain way, maybe to have a 6-pack. I know a lot of men come to me and they want to have a 6-pack, but actually the efforts that's required, they're actually quite comfortable just staying as they are. When thinking about wanting, you can also think about the structure of how you're going to change. Not that I hope I'm going to change with some good enthusiasm, or when I'm motivated, I'm going to change or train or work out, or when I'm motivated, I'm going to eat healthy, whatever that may be. Could be even when you're motivated, you're going to do that extra work so you can get that promotion. So in wanting to change, think about how you can change. Think about the when, the where, and the how. When are you going to change? When are you going to exercise? When are you going to eat healthy? How are you going to do that? Are you going to get a trainer? Are you going to exercise? Are you going to follow a plan? And then how are you going to follow that through? What are you going to put in place to make sure you do that? How are you going to change your environment to make sure you stick to it? For instance, if you're in an environment where there's lots of chocolate or lots of not so healthy foods and you're trying to lose weight, it may be a little bit more difficult to do that. If your fridge is full of vegetables, lower calorie foods, or you've prepped your meals for the week, then that's more idyllic environment to help you achieve those goals. Like we said before, are your actions correlating towards your goals? One way of doing this is preparation. Things like meal planning, prepping my smoothies the day before, or the food that I'm going to eat, or going shopping with a grocery list of meals that I'm going to make is all very beneficial for the food that I'm going to eat for the week. Then I don't have to think about it. The more you have to think about something, the less likelihood you're going to change from your normal routine. Think about how you can shape your environment so it aligns with your goals. For instance, if you want to get up and exercise first thing in the morning, set out your shoes, set out your gym gear, set out your exercise stuff ready to go. That way, it's going to be less likely that you won't do it in the morning. One thing I've done in the past is if I wanted to get up at a certain time, so maybe I want to get up at 5 or 4:30, I want to exercise first thing in the morning, is I put an alarm clock outside my bedroom. That means to get up, I have to get up to turn it off. Now, once I'm up, next to that alarm clock, I would see all my gym gear. Maybe I put something there just to motivate me. Maybe it's for those that drink coffee, I drink green tea, so I might have a cup for there ready for me to go and use on my green tea, or I might have a little motivational slogan, something like that. But the action has got me there. My preparation has got me there. So maybe think about your goals and think about what structures and planning you can put in place so you can achieve them faster and quicker. The next one, a very important one, is the doing. You can't get away with not doing the work. So obviously with any action, with any habit, you have to do the work if you want to change it. Think about every action that you take is a vote for the person you want to be. This person that I'm trying to create and shape, would they do this? This person that has a 6-pack, would they eat this? This person that has a very healthy body, would they do this on a daily basis? One of the ways to actually get into doing the work that needs to be done to change your habit, say it's exercise for instance, is to have a short-term reward. So for some people in the past that have used the Lean 60 calendars, I know that the reward of ticking off a day of exercise or making a big X through their workout once they've done it, or a big tick, is rewarding. And once you get a couple of those in a row, you don't want to break the chain. Even if you plan exercise, for instance, in your diary and you want to do 15 minutes, even just getting in the room and doing 5 minutes, the action of going through that has massively helped to change your future habits. Don't worry, even if you only do 5 or 10 minutes, the action itself is much more beneficial. You've got that first tick in your box. Especially when trying to change habits, it's always more important to focus on the structure. So even if going in the exercise doesn't matter, even if you hit a new PB that day or you did the workout that you wanted to, as long as you're hitting those incremental improvements, small 1% a day, you should see massive improvement in the space of like five months to a year. Like I said before, if you do a 15-minute workout once a day, you're going to be spending 1 hour, 45 minutes a week doing exercise. Now, it may not seem much, 15 minutes, when you guys do an hour with Lean 60, but it adds up to a massive, massive amount at the end of a year. Just doing this small little 15-minute workout once a day for an entire year would equate to over 80 hours of exercise. Now, that's how just a small 1% improvement each day can add up to a massive, massive improvement over a year. If someone said 80 hours of exercise to you, it would seem huge. But by condensing it down to such a small little figure, can make it more achievable and more manageable. Then you can build from there, build up off your base. You can start to do more intense workouts, or you can start to do longer workouts. Because the habit is already formed and you've already got the routine, now you can build upon it. It's a great way to change any unwanted habit into your life, is to slowly change out of it into the habit that you do want. Make tiny 1% improvements each day or each week, and then eventually by the end of the year, you'll be much closer to your goal. The last one of the steps about changing habits is repeating it. Like we said before, daily repetition will reinforce that habit and make it much stronger and much more unbreakable. Think about something that you do each day. Maybe you drive a certain way to work. Maybe you do something first thing in the morning. Maybe you turn on the kettle. Maybe you put on your slippers, or maybe you go to your phone. Why do you do that? Think about why you do these things. Is it because you reinforce them every day? You have a habit of looking at your phone first thing in the morning, or maybe you have a habit of flicking the kettle on. Maybe it's watching the news. Why do you have that habit? Then you can think about, how would I change this habit? And can you repeat that daily? So if you wanted to exercise first thing in the morning, if you do it once, perfect. You've done it once. That's great. Even if you don't do it for 1 or 2 days, then you do it for another day. That's repeated the habit, meaning more likely that you're going to get to your goal quicker and sooner. This principle can apply to anything. So if you think about why you do any movement in a certain way, does it come down to habit? Habits save us a lot of time and a lot of thinking, but sometimes they can kind of take control of the body. So we have to rein them in and then show them who's boss. Remember, you don't want a life that's just built on your habits, especially if you've got bad ones that you want to change. If you've got goals and ambitions, but you can't change your habit, that's almost a feeling of helplessness. Whereas if you have the ability to change your habits, you might feel more empowered about your future. And this could be anything from job, exercise, body, confidence, nutritional health, relationships, and even learning. So hopefully this helps, guys, and let me know your thoughts on what you want to achieve. Make sure to think in the future about your goals and how you want to be, and then think about what is stopping you achieving them. Think about it retrospectively, what would stop you achieving them? Then you know exactly the things that you have to work on. That's my thought of the day, guys, and hopefully that helps some of you. Let me know if you are having any problems with changing your habits, and maybe I can help you a little bit more. Have a great day, guys.